What's up guys, it's Rome Leggets back again with another video, and I don't think I've ever done a video like this, and I'm excited to talk about this type of topic. Now, most of you guys that watch my channel know that I love those dark fragrances, those spicy, exotic fragrances that are typically hard to find or not sold everywhere in the US. And I thought this was a great opportunity to talk about some of my favorites. And that topic I'm talking about, you saw the title, I'm talking about my favorite Middle Eastern fragrances or Middle Eastern inspired fragrances. And normally when you talk about Middle Eastern fragrances or you're talking about that topic, it's usually, something that's coming from Dubai, Iran, Iraq, Abu Dhabi, somewhere in that region. I also think people forget that a lot of these notes, especially oud or egglewood, comes from India and Asia. So I want to throw a little bit of that in there also. So we're gonna have some fun though, because I got some fragrances here that will blow your mind, and I want you guys to check them out. Hopefully you guys can get these fragrances in your collection and have some of the best Middle Eastern or Middle Eastern inspired fragrances in your collection. But before we get there, welcome to He Smells Like Rome. Here, I talk about niche fragrances, luxury fragrances, hard to find fragrances, and those fragrances that's gonna cause conversation. So, if that's the type of content you're looking for, do me a favor. You know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you get all the notifications when I shoot my videos. You know how this works. You help me out, I help you out by providing some of the most amazing fragrance videos in the world. If y'all ready for another one, y'all know what to do. Sit back, relax, get some popcorn. It's about to go down. So, a couple of disclaimers here. One, most of the Middle Eastern fragrances I'm talking about are going to be original compositions. These aren't going to be anything like the trend is happening right now. You guys know I don't do the dupes. I don't do clones or inspired fragrances. That's not my lane. And I wanted to show you some of these fragrances that just are just bangers that do come from the Middle East, that have, in my opinion, they are their own beautiful painting. There's nothing like this that I've smelled anywhere else, and I think you guys are gonna be pleasantly surprised. So that's the first one. Second, there's a range from, I think, 40 bucks all the way up to $1,000. So there's something here for everyone. All right, with that said, let's go. The first fragrance I want to talk about is, I think, my first Middle Eastern fragrance I've ever picked up. And this fragrance is called Musky Oud, and this is from Rihan, or Rihad. I think that's how you say it. But yeah, this fragrance right here, I went to a mall in Maryland called Columbia Mall, and they had a whole wall of these Middle Eastern fragrances that I never smelled before. And I was like, okay, let me check this out. And this one was the one that stood out to me the most. Now, it's called Musky Oud, but first of all, this is one of the most powerful beast mode fragrances I've ever come across. It doesn't really have a musky tone to it to me. It has more of a cleaner musk in the dry down, but you're gonna get saffron, you're gonna get rose, in my opinion. I mean, a really dark, spicy rose, and kind of tag teaming with that saffron. Not only are you going to get those two notes, you're going to get a nice raspberry note that's very tropical. So the combination of raspberry, rose, oud, and some woody tones in the base mixed with that musk makes a fantastic fragrance for, you can get this fragrance right now for between $30 and $50. And to me, this is still very high quality. I've had this fragrance for over 7 years, and this should be, in someone having, a fragrance like this, you can see the dent I put in it, but you don't need a lot of this. Maybe 4 or 5 sprays and you good the whole day. The whole day. the whole day. Go check it out. Musky Oud by Rian. I'm not sure how you say it, but this is a good one. Yeah, let's go check out the next one. Now, I've talked about this fragrance a few times on my channel, and I actually crowned this fragrance the most powerful fragrance in my collection. I'm talking about Ultra Beast Mode. This fragrance right here is the most interesting and complex fragrance I've ever come across. This is from Noya, or the House of Noya, and this is the Moon Shadow. Now, you guys have seen me talk about this fragrance maybe 3 or 4 times. I really enjoyed this fragrance. I went to Sin Explorer last year and I really explored the whole line. Didn't get a chance to smell everything, but everything I smelled was so unique. But this one in the rose fragrance spoke out to me the most. This because it had a really fresh and slightly peppery opening, and the citrus mixed with the spices in the opening really brought me to almost like a beach vibe, right? And it had a nice level sweetness in it. However, maybe 10-15 minutes into wearing this, it just blew me away. I was transported to Bangladesh or somewhere in Abu Dhabi or Dubai. I am not lying. I was like, what is going on? The smokiness, the aggressive, potent oud note in the base, mixed with this nice green vetiver that's also earthy but has a freshness to it. So it just kept going back in between fresh, citrusy, and then that oud eggwood. It's fantastic. The owner of this definitely talked about this fragrance having this tug between his home in India and his travels, ties to the Middle East and also India. So this is why I wanted to put this fragrance in here, because it gives a taste of both worlds. If you haven't tried this one out, I'm gonna tell you right now, once again, beast mode, but a unique, one-of-a-kind fragrance you gotta check out. Yeah. I think I'm gonna wear this weekend. Let's go check out the next one. So the next one I have, this is not actually a fragrance at all. This is a oil. One of the most prestigious and exclusive fragrance houses in the world. And that fragrance house I'm talking about is Oud Factory. Yes, Oud Factory is known for some of the rarest eggwood oils and fragrances in the world. And the perfumer and owner of that fragrance house, one of the most knowledgeable men I've ever met. I'm privileged to be able to talk to him or hit him up on IG and kind of pick his brains on these different eggwoods and, you know, what is real, what isn't real. But this fragrance right here, this oud oil, is called Deer Musk. It was originally called Deer Soul, but they changed the name to Deer Musk because I guess it was a little complicated for some people. But this fragrance not only has Deer Musk, it has 3 different eggwood oils in this fragrance. Now, not only does it have the eggwood, it has pure deer musk infused into this fragrance. Now, it has touches of saffron. It also has cashmere, saffron, and touches of damask rose in this oil. 2 drops. Scratch that. You don't need 2 drops. 1 drop of this right here. Just 1. The quality, 1 drop of that. I'll almost feel like this is gonna explode if I drop it on the floor. I'm dead serious. This is so potent, so rich, so just not for the beginner. But if you like eggwoods, if you like oud oils, if you like those éthers, this is a fragrance. This is an oil you need to get. And he's a master perfumer. I'm telling you, guys, go check out not only the oils, this one, Deer Musk, but check out the other fragrances and the other oils they have to offer. They are beautiful. This one is woody, this one is musky, this one is definitely got that barnyard, but there's also a kind of spice, hints of, I would say even chocolate in here, and a dark rose. But the spice, the musk, the animalistic tone in this is rich, it is beautiful, but it is unbelievably potent. So I'm just warning you guys, if you haven't tried oils or oud oils, be cautious with this one. For those who are connoisseurs of this type of fragrance, yeah, you're welcome. Let's go check out the next one. The next fragrance I have is another oud oil, but this one is from Arabian Oud. Now, this fragrance house is way more popular and available in the US. And I've experienced, I went to the boutique, they have one in Virginia, walked around maybe about half hour in there, and I came across some Englewood chips, and they had a burner there. So the burner was, you know, in the air. I'm smelling this note of like fruits, mainly like a mandarin orange, but almost infused into like Englewood. So it was sweet, it was citrusy, it was zesty, but it also definitely had that BO barnyard smell that is just weird. It almost like it tricks your mind to liking funk, but it is gorgeous. This right here, I'm gonna put the name up here because I cannot remember the exact name of this particular one, but you will not miss it. Every single fragrance or oud oil that's in Arabian Oud has a distinct smell. So I'm gonna put it up there. What I can tell you, like I said, if you want something that smells like a mandarin orange, like someone squeezed the juice out of a mandarin orange, had not the oud oil extracted, but the wood, and they just infused, I would say just dropped a bunch of the wood chips into like a barrel of mandarin orange juice and let it sit there for like a year. Soaked up the juice, then extracted the oils in the juice, and this is what you came out with. A sweet, citrusy, woody, slightly BO, definitely animalistic, wonderful oud oil. This is a fragrance, I can say you don't have to be a veteran in oud oil or oud fragrances, but I would say this is something that you would try before you buy. Go sample it. Go to your nearest Arabian Oud boutique, and I'm guaranteeing you're gonna like this one, because this is one that I can wear often and not be cautious of like, do people think I stink? Nah, you're gonna smell fantastic. And don't get me wrong, the other fragrance, the Deer Musk, banger, but it's pure oud, and a lot of us aren't educated or even know what pure oud or Deer Musk smells like. You're gonna run for the hills if you never smell that. But once again, it's something with the brain. It clicks and you're like, oh, I like this. I don't know why I like it, but I do. Yeah. Let's go check out the next one. So the next fragrance I have, I really enjoy this company. This company has always surprised me when they came out with fragrances. And first off, their bottle designs are just sick. The name speaks for itself. Spirit of Dubai. Yes, the Spirit of Dubai fragrances are, to me, some of the best when it comes to stepping outside of the box when it comes to traditional Middle Eastern fragrances. They definitely keep that DNA of, you know, Dubai or the Middle East in the fragrance. And this one in particular just is astonishing. This is what I'm talking about when you want something fruity, smoky, woody, and exotic. Yes, Taraj is one of the best fragrances to wear on a night out. I don't care if you're going out to dinner, I don't care if you're going out to a lounge, or maybe if you're just going out to a concert with your friends or that special loved one in your life. This is the fragrance to get. I would even say if you are a single man or woman and you like that contrast between smoky, woody, and fruity, This is it. We all know that the bottle is sick. It is a gorgeous looking bottle, like all of Spirit of Dubai fragrances. But when you talk about the notes, you got dry fruits in the opening. You have some spices, also a smoky nuance, coffee bean. You also have candy fruit in this fragrance. I'm gonna list the whole kind of catalog of notes on the side somewhere up here. But when I say, if you want something that smells like a fruit hookah or fruity hookah, however you want to say it, this is that fragrance. The dry down is special because to me, you have a combination of pineapple, you have pepper, you have cinnamon, and you also have a nice spice of cardamom. This is it. And that smokiness that comes from this fragrance is going to transport you into some desert island where people got these like Persian rugs and they just sitting out eating fruit, and you see people smoking hookahs. That's what this is. So go check it out. Another fragrance that definitely has that special Middle Eastern DNA, and I would encourage you guys, if you haven't tried this fragrance house, you need to do so. Yeah. Oh, I got more. Let's go check out the next one. Before I do that, let me put these fragrances up here. I always do this. I always forget to put the fragrances up there so y'all can see the list of fragrances that I have. Let's go ahead and do that. You don't want to stare at my face all day. I mean, this handsome fella right here. Maybe some of y'all do, but it's only like 3% women watch my videos, so we're gonna go ahead and focus on the fragrances. All right, so the next fragrance I have up is another fragrance house that just was released. They just came out in 2024, and I've been rocking with them since the summertime. They are blowing my mind right now. The fragrance house I'm talking about is Versiana. Versiana is another fragrance house from the Middle East. They have ties to Kuwait, and I also think, no, it's not Kuwait. They have ties to Iraq and also Dubai. And of course they have boutiques over there, but they are transitioning a lot of their boutiques to the East Coast right now. So I'm really in love with what they are coming out with. And one of the fragrances, which is here, I just reviewed. This is Le Tobacco. Yes, this fragrance house, boy. Everything I've touched, everything I've smelled has smelled of the utmost quality. Not only in performance of these fragrances lasting 8, 9, 10 hours, the powerful projection, the uniqueness. If you haven't seen my review, I'll link it up here somewhere. But whiskey, tobacco, smokiness, vanilla, incense. So you get a boozy, you get a smoky, you get a woody texture. Not only do you get the smoke from this kind of tobacco, kind of vanilla vibe, it's almost like the tobacco and the vanilla was fused together, but you also get a nice kind of spice smokiness from the incense. This single malt whiskey in the opening all the way to the dry down is fantastic. Guys, go get this fragrance. Once again, another beast mode fragrance, another projector. This fragrance lasts 10 hours easy. It's gonna project for a good 6 to 7. But if you want a fragrance that, you know, most people that love tobacco fragrances haven't had the opportunity to experience this one or anything like this, don't miss out. Go check it out. Yeah, you can thank me later. Let's go check out the next one. All right, so the next fragrance literally has the name and the title. I told you this is in the running for one of my favorite discoveries and favorite purchases of 2025. And I'm talking about Dazzling Dubai from Voyage. Now, if you have not smelled this joint right here, this thing is competing, in my opinion, with the Amouage fragrances. Like, it is on that level. Oh my goodness, this is a banger. This might be a contender for my birthday fragrance. I'm not sure, but dang, this thing is good. Resinous opening, sweet, syrupy. It also has a wonderful dark damask rose in this fragrance, combined with this kind of woody texture. It doesn't really smell very oody or Egglewood like focused, but you still get that DNA of Dubai. You get that luxury kind of vibe. You get that almost futuristic kind of vibe where this is for a very younger crowd, someone 25 to maybe, I would say, at the peak of going into their 40s. This is that realm. Not saying that anybody can wear. You can wear what you want, but the fruity textures, the resonance vibe, the sweetness, the soft spices, and that rose mixed with that hint of oud surrounding this fragrance. This is a must-have. I'm so glad that I got this fragrance in my collection, and it wasn't on purpose. They reached out to me and said, pick a fragrance. And this one, go look at the notes. I guarantee you would blind buy it also. Yeah, I got some more. These last ones, they are, if you look in the dictionary and you said Middle Eastern fragrances, these two might be right there. Just, what's up? Yeah, let's go check out the next one. Now, this next fragrance is not a fragrance that was made from a company in Dubai or the Middle East or even India. This is one of the most exclusive fragrance houses in the world, and one of the not only most expensive fragrances in the world, but this is regal. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm talking about Oud for Highness by Kriegler Fragrances or Kriegler Perfumes. I smelled this fragrance 10 years ago, and it has been on my list that long. I only got this fragrance 2 years ago, and look at the dent I put in this. This is a 50 ml bottle that cost me almost $1,000 for this thing. And it was money well spent. Oh my goodness. Now, this is on the Asian side of oud. This is a cleaner, more silky oud. Not only are you going to get a fresher, cleaner Egglewood note, there's saffron in this that gives a very soft kind of whisper of spices with a nice sweet texture right behind it, almost like powdered sugar right behind those soft spices. There's also honey that gives this nice warm cozy kind of feel, and another amber note that adds to that warmthness, that cozy kind of vibe that this fragrance gives. It is not loud, it is not projecting heavily, it is poised like your royalty. I'm telling you, when you wear this fragrance, you just feel like no one can touch you. I've said that probably 3 or 4 times talking about this fragrance, and I mean it. You're gonna get probably a good 6 hours with this, but being a pure perfume, the 6 hours you're gonna get with this will be consistent. It might die maybe a little bit on your skin, but it smells so pleasant, you're not gonna care. A beautiful smelling oud fragrance, Oud for Highness, inspired by the Middle East, and I know it's not cheap, but if you can, go get it. All right, so the next fragrance I have here, another Middle Eastern inspired fragrance from another just outstanding fragrance house. If you don't know about this fragrance house, I don't know where you've been. They're on fire right now. And that fragrance house is none other than Boadicea Victorious. And the fragrance I'm talking about is Nebulous. Yes, Nebulous, to me, is my favorite oud fragrance in my entire collection. Second to, well, the only other fragrance that I would compare this to that can compete with this is the one I just talked about, which is Oud for Highness. But this is very potent. This is very animalic. This is refined, but in a way where every note is so smooth, but still lets that agarwood note stay in charge. I've never seen it or smelled anything like this that can compare to this in this level of potency, level of projection, and longevity. There is one other fragrance that I'm eager to get that has similar DNA, but it's a little sweeter than this one. And that is the oud from Spirit of Dubai. Now that one, we're gonna see. When I get that, I'm gonna do a head-to-head to see which one takes the crown. But for right now, this is absolutely king of the hill when it comes to just a beautiful oud, but it doesn't stop there. You have to have this beautiful rose, this nice jammy rose with this saffron that is a potent spice versus the softer saffrons that I've been talking about. This one also has a violet in here. I don't really get that, but once again, when you have an agarwood or oud bait fragrance, those floral notes are gonna have to fight to even get noticed, unless it's a rose. But in the base of this fragrance, that musk and that amber sets the tone for when that agarwood, that oud, decides to travel down to the base of the fragrance and just settle. Once again, overall sweet, oudy, animalistic, spicy, slightly floral, and has a nice resinous base to this fragrance that makes this another competitor for my birthday fragrance, and one of the best Middle Eastern or Middle Eastern inspired fragrances in the world, in my opinion. The only downfall of this fragrance is that it is like almost $2,000. It's between $1,800 to $1,900, somewhere around there. So this isn't for the faint of heart, and I know not everyone is going to even think about spending that type of coin. But if you have it, if you're looking for the best, there you go. Don't shoot the messenger. We got one more. Let me show you what I think is the #1 fragrance house or inspired house that comes from the Middle East. Now, this might be no surprise or might cause a little bit of controversy, but I think that everyone knows that this particular house cannot be beat when it comes to creating such unique Middle Eastern fragrances, inspired fragrances, or fragrances that might take some inspiration from French perfumery. And that fragrance house I'm talking about is Amouage. Of course, y'all knew that I was gonna put this. Amouage is on fire right now. If they were a part of NBA Jam, every shot they would make would say, "Heating up," or "He's on fire." I'm telling y'all, this is one of the best fragrance houses in the world. Not only because they source the most exotic and rarest materials in the world, they hire the best perfumers to just execute some of the most just wonderful creations in the world. And I pulled this one out because this was the first fragrance that I experienced with Amouage years ago. And I was blown away. I just never smelled anything like this. This fragrance right here is Amouage Gold. And you hate it or love it. And I love this fragrance. You can tell that this is not even the new bottles. I still got the one that you got to pull the cap off. This is not even the magnetic one. But not just to speak about this, because to me, this incense, powdery, animalistic fragrance that has a very heavy note of citrus, iris, oud, and civet is not for everyone. To me, I just get a lot of powdery incense from this. That's what I get. But other people say other things. You can go look at their reviews and see what they say. But from Jubilation 25 to Interlude Man to Royal Tobacco, and even one of their newest fragrances called Outlands, they cannot miss. And I think that this fragrance house deserves to be crowned the #1 Middle Eastern fragrance house in the world. They keep setting the bar higher every time. So yeah, that's why I picked them. And you guys let me know in the comments down below. Am I wrong? Is that not the best, not only fragrance house, but collectively the best fragrances coming from the Middle East? That's just my opinion. All right, so I had fun with this. I thought that this was cool. I thought this was fun. And I wanted to do this because I hear a lot of Middle Eastern fragrance companies talking about inspired fragrances or dupes or copies or fragrance houses that are blowing up that are more affordable in that sense, that are just taking over. But I don't want you guys to forget that we got some original companies here that are also from the Middle East that make some extraordinary offerings that I know that you guys haven't had a chance to check out. So I wanted to give you an opportunity to see the ones that I have. They might cost a little bit more. Like I said, some of them between $40, $50, some are $100 and maybe $10, and then they go up $2, $3, $4, $5, all the way up to almost $2,000. So you have a plethora of choices here to check. All right. So with that said, I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Thank you again for allowing me to be here with my fellow fragrance heads. Thank you for allowing me to express my love for fragrances. And I give you all the glory. Nothing is possible without you, oh Lord. You have given me the strength to just grind and try to put these fragrance videos out. And I could not ask for more, because I could be doing anything else. But I love this. I have a passion for this. And I thank you for giving me the strength to continue on. You guys, yeah, I know y'all my peoples. I love y'all. And I want you guys to keep pushing on. I know that there are trials and tribulations that you're going through, and you're just tired and exhausted of wondering when are you going to see the light? When is God going to bless you? When is God going to show you what your purpose is? He's going to reward you for your faithfulness and your patience. I know that you guys are wondering, but I'm here to tell you that it's happening. It's going to happen. You just have to have faith and continue to weather the storm. God, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, said he will never forsake us. He will never abandon us. He will always be there for us. And know that he has always been there with us and for us. Now, I don't want to talk and preach like, yo, I got all the answers. I don't. I struggle with this every day. And I have to not only pray, but I also have to remember the scriptures. I also have to have faith that even when I'm going through those times, that he's with me. I'll leave a verse up here that talks about that. When you go through those hard times, he's going to make it worth your while. He's going to show you that it's okay, because he's walking with you. And when you get to the end of your struggle, he's going to make that path straight. He's going to make that road clear. He's going to move out all those distractions and all those things that's been holding you down. I pray that for you. I know it's going to happen for you, because I know y'all been praying for me, and I know it's going to happen for me also. So with that said, I love you guys. Until next time, like I always say, it's okay if you want to smell like Rome. I'll check you guys out on the next video. Until then, God bless in Jesus' name. Peace.